Hello and a very warm welcome. This is the news on NTA International. My name is Justin Bemunyan. Here are the top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari summons National Security Council meeting, orders security agencies to maintain law and order across the country. Federal government sets up panel to investigate Lekki toll gate shooting allegedly involving military. Plus, African Union Commission advocates peaceful resolution of NSAS protests, welcomes federal government's disbandment of SARS. Well, thank you so much for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the nation's security and intelligence agencies to do whatever is necessary within the limits of the law towards bringing to a halt the acts of lawlessness that accompanied the NSAS protests in parts of the country, which he described as intolerable. The president gave the directive at an extraordinary meeting of the National Security Council, as explained by the National Security Advisor, Babagana Mogonu.
It appears now that the riots are taking a different dimension, an unwanted dimension. And Mr. President is very, very concerned about this development and does not want a situation in which everything breaks down and results in anarchy, in lawlessness, and people taking the law into their own hands. So far, the government has been able to concede to the demands of the protesters. Then it also is logical for the protesters, for those that are aggrieved also, to take a step back, take stock of their activities, and come to a meeting point with government and its agencies. It is not Mr. President's desire to see any unwanted loss of lives, and he is determined to ensure that things do not cascade into an unpleasant situation. Mr. President has directed that government should do whatever is necessary within the confines of legitimacy, within the confines of legality, in order to bring about an agreeable resolution to this crisis. It is extremely important for the youth to understand that if the atmosphere is not conducive for dialogue and for understanding, we can't have any peaceful resolution. The security agencies have been asked to apply as much restraint as possible. But then again, the youth should also understand that sometimes pushing their luck might also result in unwanted issues. So it is very, very important for everyone to take stock of what has already happened and not give a dark impression of this country to the international community.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari says the federal government will continue to protect the unity of the country. The president stated this in a nationwide broadcast a short while ago. The president acknowledges the choice to protest as a fundamental right, with co-equal responsibilities of respecting the fundamental rights of others. He appealed for the understanding of all Nigerians in the quest for national development. And details will come in our subsequent bulletins. And now moving on, the African Union Commission has condemned the violence that erupted on Tuesday night during protests in Lagos, which purportedly resulted in multiple deaths and injuries. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mohammed, offers his sincere condolences to the families of those who lost their lives and wishes a speedy recovery to the injured. The Commission appeals to all political and social actors to reject the use of violence and respect human rights and the rule of law. He equally urges all parties to privilege dialogue in order to de-escalate the situation and find concrete and durable reforms. In this regard, the Commission welcomes the decision by the federal government to disband the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, as an important step in this direction. And similarly, the ECOWAS Commission equally notes the End SARS protests that have turned violent and expresses its condolences to the families and friends of those who have lost their lives during the protests and wishes the injured a speedy recovery. ECOWAS says it recognizes the right of citizens to freedom of expression and peaceful assembly and protests, but also stresses that those rights should be exercised in a non-violent manner, and also urges the Nigerian security operatives to exercise restraint in the handling of the protests and act professionally. It calls on all protesters to remain peaceful in the conduct of their demonstrations and commends the federal government for the disbandment of SARS, comprehensive police reforms, and conduct investigation of cases of police brutality rapidly. The federal government has constituted a high-power panel to investigate the recent shooting of the NSAS protesters allegedly involving the military at the Lekki Toll Gate, Lagos. The Coordinated Defense Media Operations Major General John Enenche said these at the weekly news conference of the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Top task before journalists at this conference is to get the Defense Headquarters' reaction on the recent alleged shooting of NSAS protesters at the Lekki Toll Gate, Lagos.
How will we put an armed forces in place to destroy its own people? Nobody. Am I not your brother? You are my brother. If the government has not set up an investigative panel, I would have had an answer for you. But we will not put the cart before the horse. So let us wait. When they come out, then we can now talk.
The Coordinated Defense Media Operations also gave an update on ongoing armed forces operations across the country that includes the killing of 9 bandits by troops of Operation Hadarindaji and Wild Stroke, operating in the northwest and north-central zones of the country. Details indicate that 4 bandits met their waterloo in the hands of troops of Operation Hadarindaji during a repelled attack at Railway Village, Kurfi local government area of Zamfara State. Similarly, troops of Operation Wild Stroke on clearance operation in Nasarawa State had contact with bandits, leading to the killing of 4 during a gun battle that ensued.
Nigerian Navy ship Pathfinder Patrol Team discovered and immobilized an illegal refinery containing 321,500 liters of illegally refined products at Tuma Creek in Degema local government area of Rivers State.
The Defense Headquarters enjoined Nigerians to be vigilant by providing information to security agencies to enhance proactive operations. From the Defense Headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And back to our earlier introduced story where President Muhammadu Buhari says the federal government will continue to protect the unity of the country. The president stated this in a nationwide broadcast a short while ago where he acknowledges the choice to protest as a fundamental right with co-equal responsibilities of respecting the fundamental rights of others. He appealed for the understanding of all Nigerians in the quest for national development.
I am indeed deeply pained that innocent lives have been lost. These tragedies are uncalled for and unnecessary. Certainly, there is no way whatsoever to connect these bad acts to legitimate expression of grievance of the youth of our country. The spreading of deliberate falsehood and misinformation through the social media in particular, that this government is oblivious to the pains and plight of the citizens is a ploy to mislead the unwary within and outside Nigeria into unfair judgment and disruptive behavior. On the contrary, both our deeds and words have shown how committed this administration has been to the well-being and welfare of citizens, even with the steadily dwindling revenues and the added responsibilities and restrictions due to the coronavirus pandemic.
We'll take a short break now. The news continues in a moment. To stay with us.
Issa too like football on Top Go TV. Sote him forget say him be best man for him party wedding. Amaka disappoint her bobo all because of football. Kola and the family supposed come out, but then gas change plans because for this new football season, Go TV get correct football action will make sense. Get Go TV decoder, wey come with 1 month Go TV Max subscription for only 9,500 naira. Go TV, live it, love it.
Demands of #EndSARS movement. Immediate release of all arrested protesters. Justice for all deceased victims of police brutality and appropriate compensation for their families. Setting up an independent body to oversee the investigation and prosecution of all reports of police misconduct within 10 days. In line with the new Police Act, psychological evaluation and retraining to be confirmed by an independent body of all disbanded SARS officers before they can be redeployed. Increase police salary so that they are adequately compensated for protecting the lives and property of citizens. Federal government's response. On 11th October 2020, the Inspector General of Police dissolved the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, across the 36 states police commands and the Federal Capital Territory. On October 12th, President Muhammadu Buhari addressed the nation, stating the disbanding of SARS is only the first step in our commitment to extensive police reforms. On 13th October 2020, the Inspector General of Police ordered all defunct SARS personnel to report at Force Headquarters, Abuja, for debriefing as well as psychological and medical examination. On 13th October 2020, the Presidential Panel on the Reform of SARS accepted the 5-point demand of the #EndSARS protesters. On 15th October 2020, the National Economic Council, NEC, directed the immediate establishment of state-based judicial panels of inquiry across the country to receive and investigate complaints of police brutality, related extrajudicial killings with a view to delivering justice for all victims of the dissolved SARS and other police units. State governors should immediately establish state-based special security and human rights committees to be chaired by governors in their state and to supervise the newly formed police tactical units and all other security agencies located in the state. This will ensure the protection of citizens' human rights. Members will also include representatives of youths and civil society as well as head of police tactical units in each of the states.
Well, thank you for staying with us. The federal government has directed all its health institutions to treat casualties of the civil unrest who present themselves for treatment. Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, gave the directive in a statement in Abuja. Dr. Ehanire said casualties with injuries who cannot afford the cost of treatment should not be rejected. The minister reminded Nigerians of the need to observe the COVID-19 protocol. This is where the news ends. Thank you so much for watching. But before we go, remember to join NTA and avoid rape. Thank you for staying with us.